Next up, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the last chapter in the Harry Potter saga and charts the epic battle between good and evil. Harry, Ron, and Hermione continue their quest of finding and destroying the 3 remaining magical items responsible for the Dark Lord's immortality. But as Voldemort finds out about their mission, their biggest battle begins, and life as they know it will never be the same.
Let's finish this the way we started it. Together!
We've all just seen it. Let's talk about it. Liz, you want to tell us about the story?
I liked it, but I felt it was a little rushed. I mean, it was a lot of story points to cram into 130 minutes, and a lot of the things that were focused on in the book weren't really played up in the movie, like Neville Longbottom's heroic actions or Snape's backstory. And I felt like I was really looking forward to those parts to be really played up, and I wanted to indulge myself in more story, I guess.
I was actually very surprised by the fact that they took a lot of time to have quiet character moments at the beginning of the movie. And it was as if they were reintroducing us into the world and letting us get acquainted with Harry and Hermione and Ron again and what they were feeling. So I definitely agree with Liz, but the one thing that I really wanted more of is I think this movie did not have enough comedic moments. We're all film school students, and we know that even in the worst horror slasher movies, you have to give the audience a chance to breathe. And I just wanted some moments where we could laugh along with them, and you're obviously disagreeing with me.
I think we get them. I mean, we get McGonagall, who has one of the greatest lines of the whole thing at the climax.
Right.
The Weasley twins are, doing their thing. When Aberforth Dumbledore shows up, who's Albus's brother in the pub.
That was very cool.
Yeah, so he's great. So I think there's enough of it. I, as compared to Liz, I like the narrative economy of it. I like the way that it moves briskly along. And I think, as, nerds that we all are. Yeah, you're a nerd
I'm a nerd
too, all right?
I'm a
There's nothing wrong with being a
There's
nerd
nothing
too.
right, really?
You actually get a lot more lays.
Okay, yes, I've heard that.
Right,
I'm looking forward to it.
So as the nerds that we all are, you always want more. I've lived with these books for the last 10 years.
Me
I've
too.
seen all the movies.
Check.
But did you fall asleep at night listening to the story tapes?
Well, no, I wasn't that big.
Were you in your
into
20s and this happened?
Yes, and I'm a grown freaking man, and I used to fall asleep.
you win.
I have an active mind, but and you always want more of those. You always want to have more story, but then it becomes a 10-hour movie where like every chapter is a freaking hour.
This is a cast that you've been with for over 10
Oh, yeah.
years. You see them go from being children to being adults. How were their performances in this final film for you guys?
Honestly, I really love Daniel Radcliffe. I really feel like he's really come into his own in this last film. I felt the journey. I felt his emotion, the relationships, and especially his triumph at the end.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
And definitely not to be outdone, I felt like his co-stars, Emma Watson and Rupert Grint, were
Thank you for
equally
throwing their props. I was
No, they
waiting
were
for
equally
that.
amazing. Like
They
I loved
were.
seeing their relationship coalesce.
Finally.
Finally, and it
Yeah,
was
spoiler
really,
alert.
really one of the heartwarming parts
Yes, it was.
of the film. I love that, and of course, Alan Rickman, amazing performance.
I invite them to step forward. Now.
There are 2 characters stick about in my mind. One is Aberforth Dumbledore,
Okay.
who shows up, in the movie, and he just steals his one scene that he's in. So Kieran Hines, fantastic job, and my boy Neville Longbottom, right?
Really?
Kicking ass,
No!
taking names. He's my boy. No, seriously, because he showed up in the beginning as this really gawky character who had not much going for him. He tried to stop Harry and Hermione and
Right.
and Ron on the very first thing, and he got frozen.
You'll get Gryffindor into trouble again. I'll fight you.
Petrificus totalis.
And slowly over these films, it's all about his maturation development.
Yes, definitely.
For the Goblet of Fire, he was dancing, and now he's come into his own. He went from being gawky to like handsome covered handsome with handsome filler.
Yeah? You and who's are we?
The other star, I think, of this film is director David Yates. He's been with the franchise for the last 5 films. What did you guys feel about his direction?
Well, he did what needed to be done. It was well shot, it was well edited, it was well directed, but it was no masterpiece like the first one, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
I feel like there's a battle on the
We'll
table.
back to that.
Superior film. The way I look at it is Part 1 is Rocky 1 and Part 2 is Rocky 2. And this is because Rocky 1 is a character piece. It's more awkward. There's more silence. There's more of a measured quality, as James would say. And Rocky 2 is more of an audience piece. It's really, it's about a winner, not a fighter. And I think this is the film that David Yates was probably forced into making due to the amount of plot points that he had to cram into the film.
Yeah.
And more to the point,
Sorcery.
if a kid's movie can make me cry.
You cried?
I did. I mean, I cried 2 solid times, and I had probably 2 other times where I got a bit misty. I mean,
But James, you're kind of an easy mark. You cried almost every movie at this point. Do you know how many times you've said that?
all right. Well played. Well played. The field is yours.
Well, I think we're gonna have to leave it at that. Let's everybody take your tickets.
I thought this was a fantastic end to a great series, so I'm gonna have to say, see it.
I too thought this was a fantastic end to a series. See it.
Well, it's a great movie, but Part 1 was better. See it.
Qualification City. All right.
Movie had me crying in the end. It's well plotted. It's brilliantly paced. It's got some lovely character moments into it. Clearly, it's a see it, like it's going to be anything else.
Okay, that is 4 tickets for a see it for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. All right, shall we go ahead and cheers? Yes. Is there a Harry Potter cheer?
Another
Cheers! Now this is butterbeer, right?
Butterbeer. Enjoy.